This is John T for the Boxing Voice, and I'm pleased this evening to be joined by Southern Area welterweight champion Sam Gilley. How are you, Sam?
I'm good, thank you, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm really good. Welcome to the site. First time you're on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And no worries. Thanks for coming on. And I can't start by anything else than asking about that. Looks like a bit of a black eye on the right eye. Have you had a tough spar today? He's just gone quiet.
Yeah. No, this one was Ted. This one was Ted Cheeseman. I've been doing a lot of rounds with over the last couple of weeks. So, but honestly, I'm murdered for it. I can fit myself and I'll have a black eye. Honestly, I'm terrible. So I'm always walking around with marks on my face. But it's one of them things, mate. It's part of the game, isn't it? And
of course it is. Well, look, that's great sparring. I wasn't aware of that. I'll jump straight onto that. So have you been down the Matchroom gym, have you, in Brentwood, or?
Yeah, 3 times a week. So get as much in as I can down there. I mean, like, that's top quality sparring. I mean, the back end of last year, we was down there a lot as well. And I mean, they use us for sparring. And then when we've got a fight date, we use them as well. So it's really good, mate, to get down here. And it's always competitive. Do you know what I mean? The boys are a good laugh as well. So, but yeah, there's nothing better than that to get you prepared for something like I've got coming up.
Well, to be fair, they always say all your learning's done in the training, right, and the build-up. So if you're sparring people like Ted Cheeseman, who's out himself in a couple of weeks, we've interviewed Ted on the site recently, and his opponent spoke to JJ Metcalf recently. Really looking forward to that fight, so that'll put you in good stead. Well, look, let's chat about you. So last time out, you won the Southern Area title. How was that in the evening? Your first belt?
Oh, mate, that's well, so far it's the highlight of my career, isn't it? So, I mean, it's the first time that I've won myself a championship. So yeah, it's a special night in my life, to be fair. I mean, beforehand it was like when I turned pro, that Southern Area title was all me and Rod spoke about for 3.5 years. Like, it literally, that's all we spoke about, was getting that shot and winning it. And for it to actually come in March last year, and then like the fight added to how special it was. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a decent test for me. And yeah, that's massive for me. But it proved that I can go on and I can win much bigger things in the Southern Area.
Yeah, definitely. Well done. And now it brings me on to the next fight. You're obviously back out in a couple of weeks, and that's a huge fight, another step up for you. What do you know about your opponent, Danny Bull?
Not a lot, really. I watched his 2 last fights against Casey Benjamin and against Cartwright. Yeah, I mean, Rod does more of the analysis and stuff like that, and he like breaks the game plan down and stuff like that, and I just listen to him and we devise a plan. So, and I mean, I'll watch it once, twice, and like the video's never going to change, is it? So, I mean, I don't know much about him, but it's not going to change the result on March 26th.
Very confident. On paper, mate, it looks like another great Frank Warren fight. It's a 50-50 on paper. You're 11-0, so not been beaten in 11 wins. He's got 9 wins and just a 1 draw, and he's the Midlands area champion. So on paper, it's like a right pick 'em. Do you know much about? I know you said you have a look at the video. Do you know much about his style? Is there anything that you're concerned about, or?
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, it's going to be an hard fight. Every fight, like, he's a good lad. Do you know what I mean? He's a good fighter, so it's going to be tough. But like, obviously, we've noticed a few things that we can work towards and exploit and stuff. And there's obviously some strengths he's got that we've got to keep away from. But that's going to be the same in every single fight, and that's what competition is, isn't it? You want to test yourself against good kids, and I believe I'm going to come through this and start pushing on.
Yeah, well, once you start getting to area level title, and the next step ups are going to be, I think you're fighting for the international silver title or something as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
A real good belt, and whether it's British level, European. I don't think there's any fights anymore that are easy at the level you're at.
No, exactly. But that's when you got to prove yourself to be as good as you say you are. Do you know what I mean? I believe I can go a very, very long way in this sport, and you got to come through tests like this to get to where you want to be and to change your life in the long run, you know. So this is about me getting onto a big platform, showing everyone on that platform what I can do, introducing myself to you guys, to the media, to BT, to Frank Warren, to everyone that's sitting around watching, and open a lot of people's eyes and go, I didn't realise how good this kid was.
Yeah, that's exactly the way to look at it. My next question was going to be, I think you have fought on a big card before. Quote me if I'm wrong. You've actually fought at O2. I think Yard was on the card. Dubois, Martin Murray. Is that right? Now, were you?
Yeah, we was.
I
done a little 4-rounder. I kicked the night off. So that was. Do you know what? Do you know what's funny? I've not even seen that fight.
Really?
Do you know that? I've not even. Yeah, no one filmed it.
Well, that was what I was about to say, because I haven't seen it, because whenever I always have a look at what I can find. And I wonder, you know, when you've got the big cards, sometimes it's on before it's on TV. So your big night, you didn't even get to see it. So how does that make you feel? It sounds like you're definitely going to be on TV this time, mate. I think you're second top billing. So the nerves must be kicking in and that, no?
Listen, you're going to get nervous, but it's excitement. This is something me and Rod have spoke about since then, really. Like, because I was like, really? I was like, I've not even been filmed. I was like, I know I've kicked this, like, the night off on the first fight, like, empty O2, just a few, like, 150 people, like, of my people there watching. But I thought, like, next time I'm on this, I'm really gonna show you, like, what you're gonna be missing out on. Do you know what I mean? Because back then I was a novice. Do you know what I mean? I still am technically, but, like, I believe in my ability, and then I believe I'm going to show a lot of people what I can do, because I believe Danny Ball was made for my style on March 26th.
Are you a bit gutted that you can't have your fans there and there isn't going to be a big crowd, considering you're so far up the card?
Yeah, do you know what? I try not to think about it, because obviously but you see in my last fight, it was like I had lots of people there, and walking out, and I know this is another thing I've learned massively from my first fight. The game plan went out the window after about 35 seconds because of the adrenaline. I controlled it a little bit, but I started boxing properly from probably the fifth onwards. But obviously that could be too late in some fights. But it was a massive learning curve that I wobbled him, I think, in the third round, and then there was only one thing on my mind, just trying to take him out, and that's the wrong way to box. So I've learned from that. And I mean, to not have no one there, when I spar, nobody's there anyway. It's me, Rod, the other person, and their coach. And that's when I'm boxing to a plan, and I believe it'll actually bring the best out of me, because I spoke to Connor, because I was a little bit worried about it. I was like, mate, it's going to be so weird. And he went, mate, honestly, you can think so much clearer with no fans there. He went, it's actually a little bit weird how much better it makes you perform and how much you stick to a game plan. Ted said it as well.
Connor Ben, you're on about, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Is that another one you've had some good sparring rounds in with?
Yeah. I've sparred Connor for probably the last year. We've done quite a few rounds together. So, like, a mixture between me, him, and Ted. So yeah, it's always really, really good sparring.
Well, you're around the corner from him, and you're a similar weight. Yeah. Well, look, that weekend, I don't know if you are aware of this, but you've got 4 big cards on that weekend. You've got 2 on the Friday and 2 on the Saturday. You're kicking off the BT Sport card on the Friday night. The following night, you've got Chris Jenkins against Esserman. So that's for I think Echo's got the English and Chris has got the British and the Commonwealth. Again, they're both friends of the site. We've interviewed both of those. How do you see that fight going?
I said this in an interview, really. Do you know what? It's pretty bad, because I've watched everyone, but I've not seen too much of Jenkins. I obviously know that he beat Johnny Garton, and I know he come through that, and he must be a very, very talented man, because he's got British and Commonwealth titles, and that's something that some of us lads can only dream of achieving. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, because on our way up. But Usman's got to be favourite in my eyes. From what I've heard around the circuit and speaking to people and stuff like that, a lot of people are picking Usman, so I'd have to back him. But it's a fight. I mean, everyone in the welterweight division is going to be keeping their eye on that, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. The bookies have got him slightly favourite, and he is undefeated, so I kind of get why it's like that. But another great fight. And the reason I mention that fight is, should you come through yours, you'd have the international silver title. The other person would have the British and the Commonwealth. Is that a fight you would like?
Yeah, please. I mean, that's like I remember I used to have a little BlackBerry when I was at school, and I had the Lonsdale belt on my screensaver for years.
Nice.
And that was that was something that was like dream world to me, to be to be fighting the night before and putting myself in contention for that. Because of course I'd want the winner. If they I won the Southern Area in my last fight, I won the WBC. If they offered me it in my next fight, I would take it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've got I believe in myself that much, and I can go and win these things. But obviously it's a steady progress. Obviously I'd like fights in between, but that fights, to fight for that belt in itself is just that'd be a dream come true.
I know you're going to have a game plan, you and Rog. You'll have a game plan on how the fight's going to work out. But do you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you look past him. I'm really not saying Danny Ball. But does it make you think I need to impress because I'm on TV this time? I've got a good slot, and if it's not just about winning it. If you win that and really impress, then you need to start making people say, "Well, he deserves a shot at the winner of that fight."
Well, yeah, but this is the mistake I made in my last fight. Going out to impress too much. I need to think about my boxing and the game plan before anything else. I mean, getting a W is more important than anything else, right? So that comes first, and I believe with my talent, looking good will come second, and it will just come through as long as I stick to what Rod tells me. Listen, that will get me an impressive victory. I don't have to try too hard for it, because that's when I don't do what Rod's telling me. If you get what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So I've got to stick to what Rod tells me. And it'll be a good performance.
Well, look, we wish you luck on that fight. It's a great 50-50 fight, as I said. And whoever wins, it could start becoming a bit life-changing, certainly from the monetary point and the publicity and fame that goes with it, mate. Just what I've got you before I let you go, in terms of you a lot of people see that as the glamour division, the welterweight, certainly over the last 10, 15 years. Who's your pound for pound at that weight?
A welter? It's got to be Crawford, isn't it? At the minute, I mean, it's literally. I'll probably, if you interviewed me tomorrow, I might say Spence, but it's literally it's like every time I watch one of them, I say, right, he's the best one. Then I watch the other one, and I swap to him. I'm not I can't really pick them. I'd love to see them two get it on, but it don't look like that's going to happen for a few years, does it?
That's exactly the way I see it, by the way. That's why whenever I interview a welterweight, I always ask them that one, because I watched Spence and I was like, oh, that's all rubbish what they're saying about it. He'll never be the same since his car accident. He looked great. Then you watch Crawford and you're like, it is. And it's one of those styles things. Crawford's quite slick. Spence seems to, in my opinion, have a little bit more power and come forward. But it will be a great fight. Hopefully we don't have to wait a couple of years, but it's promotional rules and stuff like that.
I think the timing of Crawford, I mean, look what he done to Kell Brook. I mean, you've never seen Kell rocks like that, but it was such a short, sharp little shot. And because as orthodox, he looked like Kell was getting to him and doing quite well.
He did stop.
And then the way he could adapt and just swap his stance and open him up, that's just elite level what he can do. So, and I mean, but we've seen Spence do amazing things as well. So it's a pick and one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Kell's one of my favourite British fighters for a long time. So while you've mentioned him then, it sounds like there's a bit of noise. It might get made probably a few years too late. Brook Khan, where would your money be on that? And would that still interest you to watch it?
Oh, you got a lump on Brook, haven't you? You got I mean, like I've sparred Kell, and he can punch it. He can dig. And I mean, as long as his timing's there, we all know Khan's a little bit frail around the chin, isn't he? So, and I mean, Khan's so inactive now. I mean, Kell's not the most active, but I think out of the two, if they're gonna get it on, I think I'd have Kell in the middle rounds.
Yeah, it's better late than never, that fight. I said about a year or two
ago. I mean, people are saying, "Oh no, it's well too far now." I'm like, mate, if Tyson and Roy Jones can fight, and the amount of buyers they had, I mean, I'd still like to see and watch them two get it on. Do you know what I mean? In a proper fight.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I must admit, about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I was like, right, I've got the ump with this now. I don't want it anymore. It's because I really wanted it at the time. It was just one of those fights. But I think there's so much bragging rights on the line there as well. They really don't like each other, the needle.
I really don't see how, listen, obviously, I might be missing something in terms of the business side of it, but it's got to be one of them that doesn't want it, right? Because it was Hatton's my favourite fighter, and for him and Witter to never get it on, it's a similar situation, but there's got to be either one manager that's telling the fighter no, or one fighter that's saying no, there's another option. Do you know what I mean? There's something in the way of it, and I can't, like, the amount of money these boys are going to earn from this fight.
Yeah,
I can't see what would get in the way of. I know Khan's always like, oh, Brook's not a big enough name, he needs to win things. Then he won things, then it was, and then he come out with some other, then he went on to the jungle, didn't he? I mean,
yeah.
So, but they've got to, for their legacies, want to secure that fight, and just to, because if they both retired and they never boxed each other, that it just, people will be talking about it for 10 years, going, what if? And do you know what I mean? So they've got to do it.
Yeah, good analysis. Well, look, we'll look forward to that if that gets made. Well, look, thanks for taking time out to speak to us. Really enjoyed you having on, Sam. What we'll do is hopefully after your fight, if you win for you, we'll get some time with you, maybe with a belt, and we'll pop down and see you down the gym.
Yeah.
Make sure to serve up a cracker for us. Do you want to shout out any sponsors or anything?
Yes, please, mate. Trendy Landscapes, Home Glaze. Well, I've got loads. Kitchens by a Guy. Who else have we got? Wendy Gray, Handmade, James Farrett, Dan Sperling. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I need like a list next to me, because I always pick one person, but I'm so sorry if I forgot anyone.
Yeah, no worries. I'm sure they appreciate it anyway. Well, look, good luck, mate, and we'll catch you soon, yeah?
Top man.
All the best, man. Cheers, mate.
So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.